What's going on?
What's up? I'm about to bring up YouTube. We had some discombobulation in the kitchen. No, she's making pancake. She's making breakfast right now for us to eat. She dropped the pancake straight on the floor. So sorry. The what?
The Brenner, you know.
No, I don't.
Breakfast, dinner, Brenner.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, I was really confused.
Hey, Jordan. Hey, Dell. How you guys doing?
What's up? How are y'all?
In just a second. Turn this down. Everybody, we're on time. 8 o'clock. This is first stream since Facebook went out. I'm actually thinking about streaming towards Facebook Live.
Are you going to?
I think I might. Yeah, I think I might.
Tonight?
No. Well, if I was, I'd need to test it before Dan Thurman.
Yeah.
Alright, hold on. I need to turn this down. Okay, so yesterday I was I was playing with Jordan and Josh all in Fortnite, and she decided to pull up Dan Thurman's Instagram. So I was like, yeah, check him out. And I told her about Maggie Thurman, how she's TikTok famous. She looks her up. She sees that she's got like 1 million followers. 1 million. What is it? 1.5 million? She goes, oh. yeah. That's why I'm worried. That's exactly why. Because like, oh my gosh, like the amount of people that could possibly view the podcast after this.
Is she gonna promote it?
I don't think so, but if it happens to go really well, she might.
Okay.
So,
It's
always the possibility.
It's a post-mortem.
Yeah, post-mortem. Yeah, I know. Fingers crossed, though. What's up, Jordan? What's up, Josh? What's up, Dell? Everybody joining chat. How you guys doing? Everybody doing all right tonight? Before we jump right into it, give everybody a second to kind of tune in, get the channel rolled up, get the volume playing. Oh.
It's gonna be a fun night.
Oh, yeah.
Next 2 nights.
Oh, yeah. Remember, we're not going live tomorrow night. We'll be back to the normal schedule Tuesday, Thursday next week. What's up, David? How you doing, buddy?
Hello,
David. In
David.
the chat. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. So quick update before we all get started. Friday, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Friday will be the last podcast before Dan Thurman.
Aha.
That is the Hype Podcast. So send it out to your wife, your kids, your mom, your daughter, your dog. I don't care who you send it out to. Send it out to everybody.
Whoa. If your dog's getting emails and texts, please let me know because I'm super interested in that training.
Yes. Figure out how to. I've seen dogs like open bottle caps. Have you seen that?
I want to get a monkey. I think a monkey would be more apt to be doing things.
If you could have one
Monkey would be
animal,
cool.
what would you have?
A monkey.
Really? A monkey?
I think a monkey would be cool. If I had like a trained monkey that it was like a dog in behavior that didn't like need 100% attract or like attention, that'd be nice.
I don't know. I think it would be difficult raising a monkey. It's like raising a kid.
It's like a lifelong thing. Yeah, because they're smart and they learn.
Yeah, I mean, when it gets mad at you, it decides it wants to throw its shit at you. So, honestly, yeah. I could do a monkey. I could for real. I could have a monkey. Yeah,
a monkey would be legit. He could just walk around on your shoulder.
Oh, for sure.
A little tiny kid.
just chilling on your shoulder. Stark
Yeah,
should be
that
on.
you can. Ooh, Stark.
Dude, I miss Stark, man. That dude's a monster, but I miss him.
Have you gotten any update pictures?
No, Mac will send me
Probably.
some every now and then.
You probably
I
should get some.
miss that kid, dude. That's my baby. Start. Yeah. Dell over here on Twitch giving the dog emotes. My dog will be watching on YouTube and I'll be watching on Twitch. I love it. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate that.
Hey.
Appreciate it. But anybody else got any preferences on animals tonight? Before we jump right into the hard-hitting topics of legalization. Again, this ain't a normal, like, it's not gonna be like a debate. It's just gonna be like a question and answer kind of format. Main question being, I guess we could just start off with, should weed be illegal? And if so, why not?
I don't. Okay, see, we had the statement like legalization, and I kind of just ran with it for a while. But like, I don't really care about legal. Just decriminalize it. Don't make it like recreational and shit, so people are just using it whenever, wherever.
I wonder
But
if aliens do drugs.
decriminalize. Hey man, I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
This one doesn't know. Maybe
Yeah,
another time.
yeah, that's an interesting point. Because if you made it legal, that kind of does open the gateway. It's like, all right, this is something that I can do, but if it's decriminalized and you can't get in trouble for it, but it's still illegal.
Yeah, you can't use it in public places, but like if you're caught with a certain amount, then it's not like a huge deal
But
because it's in the grand scheme of things, it puts far too many people in jail and in prison for it to actually. I don't think their time is worth it.
I was actually looking up like reasonable arguments for the decriminalization of marijuana specifically, and a lot of them, the reasons for decriminalization are good. Like I understand them, but the reasons people want them to stay legal or illegal, it's just, dude, we've debunked them all. Like why are we still having this argument? Let me see if I can find it. It was, gosh,
If they decriminalize it, they have to let out all the people that are in jail. Yeah, but not if you have like a scale. It should be a scale. Because like there's still laws that prevent certain people from having a certain amount. So like if you just stay hard on that, then you let out all the people that were under that amount.
Here it is. Yeah, so one of the arguments was it would help free up law enforcement, like you were saying, so that way they could use their time more wisely and go focus on actual crimes and like someone just sitting there deciding they want to smoke pot.
Yeah.
You know what I think is the most strange thing in the world? Weed is legal in our capital. I could literally drive 30 minutes right now from Maryland and buy marijuana. I could drive to DC and buy marijuana and it would be legal. Isn't that crazy? But federally, it's not. It doesn't make any sense.
See, is it more of something like whenever they had the prohibition is because they couldn't tax some of it. So like
drugs are bad. Okay, I'm Mr. Garrison over here.
But like, what is the reasoning behind it being so outlawed?
So there was this guy, and I don't remember his name, but it was really putting a hamper on his paper industry. Dale, you might know more specifics. I think we talked about this, but I don't remember what it was. But they tried to pair it up with immigration, and it was a racial issue. Like, oh my gosh, the Mexicans are smoking pot, and the black people are smoking pot. You don't want your kids involved with that. Like, it was just completely racist, and meant for it was propaganda, pretty much. And so now we've kind of debunked all those things, obviously. It's like really? Why are we still here? Like, why are we still keeping it illegal? The law was unjust from the beginning. It was a scam from the tobacco companies to get rid of competition. Okay.
Really?
If it So I know that they did that with vape material. I
Yeah.
know, yeah. So I know like big tobacco companies are trying to fight against vaping because it's really hurting their industry the most because nobody's smoking cigarettes anymore.
There's still people. It's going down a good bit, but
Oh
there's
yeah.
people, old people,
Oh,
they
for
still love
sure.
their
For
cigarettes.
sure. But our generation, dude, our generation's gonna kill cigarettes.
Our generation is just creating a new addiction.
Oh, oh, again, for sure. But tobacco
Because of,
companies, they were fighting hard against Juul and vape
oh yeah,
companies.
but Juul was terrible. Juul
Yeah.
was terrible for people. They lied to everyone. Those pods weren't 5%. They were they were literally 73% nicotine in
Were they
that pod.
really?
Yes.
Oh, dude, I didn't even know
That's when the
that.
FBA came in hot on them. It was funny. It was like 72.3% nicotine per pod.
Okay, so here's a question. I know it's kind of on a tangent, but it's on the relevant case of drugs. Should the FDA or the government have stepped in and said you can't be doing these flavored Juul pods anymore?
Mm, see, I don't know. That's capitalism. People were gonna buy it. A lot of people bought it. It wasn't like
Well, I
the
don't know.
flavors themselves weren't the problem. Like they would have been fine if they just didn't have so much nicotine in them.
Well, I don't think the government intervening and saying you can't have this flavor is technically capitalism. I think
Well,
that's
no, but
completely
like
the opposite.
no, yeah, I know that's what I'm saying. It's like they created something that made them a lot of money and that was working and was popular, and they stepped in and was like, "Nah, you can't do this."
Yeah. Well,
I don't
that's
like that.
like do we play a role in society like as we do we play a role individually or as a government collectively preventing people from obtaining such goods that would cause addiction like nicotine, like flavored nicotine
We do
or
it with
that?
alcohol. We're never gonna stop doing it with alcohol. So what's the point?
Okay, so then what's the argument with marijuana then? Like why are we stepping in with any illicit
Because
drugs?
it's not. There's no aspects of it that are actually addictive.
Hmm. Well, that's the point though, right? Like why
You
are we?
can't be addicted. You can be addicted to a high, but you're not addicted to the weed itself. But
I don't know about that.
alcohol is uh, there's like you can actually be addicted to alcohol.
Really? Do we
Yeah,
have anybody with any
it's
experience in this in the chat? I, I could you be? Is alcohol itself addictive, or is it just the psychological component, just like marijuana?
I mean, they have AA, that's alcohol addiction. I figured it would just be a normal that would be considered an addiction.
Yeah,
But
but
like
I
hasn't
know.
there been tests of multiple like people saying that weed itself is not addictive, but like people enjoy being high, so like that's why.
Yeah, then I think we should expand our definition of addiction then, if that's the case, because I know several people that would technically be considered addicted to marijuana. And it's bad. Like they can't function without it. Like they go every day and they give you the same spiel. Oh, I'm good. I can quit whenever I want. I'm like, no, you can't, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in some cases. I mean, I I just feel like the properties of it aren't.
Holy crap, that
They're
was
not
hot.
meant to be.
Just took a sip of this, and I was not expecting to take a gulp, and it was really hot. Sorry, what were you saying?
The properties of it aren't meant to be addictive, but like things like cigarettes are, at least, because cigarettes have nicotine and it is meant to be an addictive chemical.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh man, I think that's my worst vice right now. Um, obviously I've like a cut back because we're in Maryland and like in the epicenter of the coronavirus where it's affecting your lungs. So I decided to cut back a little bit, but dang, dude, I still get the nicotine cravings even though I'm not doing it now. Like I had to leave it at home because it can get bad, man.
It's
If you're not
weird.
careful or you're watching it, like sometimes like nicotine is like a that little sneaky devil, man. If you're not careful with it, it'll come to bite you.
That's
Uh,
true.
Old people are still scared of marijuana and they vote more than young people. Oh, that's all right. That's a relevant
Yeah,
fact too.
I feel like that's the main reason it's not legal right now.
Yeah.
It's more of just out because it's all old people in office, and I don't think Republicans are going to do it anytime soon.
Oh no, not anytime soon. So, moral of the story: get out and vote. That should be your go-to. This is not a political argument, but marijuana should it be legal? I don't know. Get out and vote. Let that decide.
It'll be interesting.
Sugar is
I'm
addictive and way more deadly than weed. You know, I feel like there's definitely some truth to that, but weed, in my opinion, not that I'm considering. I want to play the advocate here.
devil's advocate, Dylan.
Yes, I want to play the opposite field real quick and just ask the question: is there not like psychological repercussions that weed could bring? Like with
I don't.
any addictive substance, like too much of weed can do
Uh,
something.
I think when you're younger, yeah,
Yeah,
but not. I think it's the whole when your brain fully develops type thing. But that might just be me.
yeah,
I don't feel like it's really that bad for you mentally.
really.
Yeah. What does anybody else think? Because
Weed
I don't.
2020,
Yeah.
running for president. I don't know. Again, I I'm not against weed at all. Obviously, I mean my past would suggest otherwise. But at the same time, I just want to be like clear because I know a lot of people are very adamant about marijuana. They're very adamant about whether or not it should be legal or illegal. But I think that there are several issues that people avoid when they advocate for the use of marijuana, especially on the recreational side, or not the recreational, but for the medicinal purposes. Like I'm not saying that it doesn't have benefits because my brother right now who has epileptic seizures, he's on CBD oil. So obviously there are benefits to it, but I think people kind of play the medicinal issues, especially when they're advocating for the chance to get it legalized.
See, I feel like if it was legal, that'd be nice because then it eliminates all of the possibilities of being something bad or laced or whatever. And also it'll open up more possibilities for like testing what goes into what. It's better product, better it's more government control in it, and it being legalized
Right.
gives companies the ability to use things that they know and make a lot of money and also give out something that's beneficial.
Well, ain't that the issue though? Like, because when we went to Denver and we went to like the shop, there was like the THC content of some of these things was like 30 something percent, and it's like
Yeah, but it's clean.
holy shit.
It's it's clean. It's not anything laced terribly.
Right.
Because like somebody tries to replicate that, it's not what it should be
All right, fair
when
enough.
people
That's
try
a
to
fair
do
point.
that.
And I 100% agree that it should be legal. I think it should be legalized to the point to where it's not taking up officers' times. Who cares? You want to go smoke weed? Fine, go ahead. Who cares? Like, you're
I
not
get
causing
I
any issue.
I get that it honestly I would hate that because it makes the majority of people lazy.
Really? You think?
Yes. I think there's certain people that can function very well off of it and there's some people that can't.
Yeah, I'm definitely not one of them. That's why I can't do it all the time. And if I wanted to, I'd be like literally glued to the couch. That's not happening. I get
Exactly.
paranoid. I get paranoid.
Yeah. A
You
lot of
know.
people do.
I get to the point to where I think like, oh shit, did I say something wrong to that person? Like what?
Start overthinking everything.
Yes. It's not a good thing either. So I decide to avoid it altogether. But occasionally, I'll indulge here and there. But
Just a
it's
little
not
sprinkle
like
here and there.
I'll do it in legalized states like Colorado. So, I have a friend who has had too much weed before. High AF. There is an economic and environmental argument for hemp as well. All right, so what's the environmental one? I know the economic one. I know that it can be used like in terms of recyclable wastes. Like it can be made into plastics. It can be made into just a plethora of things like paper, rope. So
Yeah,
I know,
really?
yeah. The thing's strong
know
AF. No, I forgot to send out the snaps. Um,
Dang, Dylan.
now I'm slacking. It's been an off day for me, man. It's been a completely off. It's been an off
Moved out
week.
of my dorm today.
Did you really?
Yeah, that was
Uh,
fun.
you cut down less trees and grow hemp much faster. Yeah, so I mean, that in itself is economically, what's the word? Economically substantial, beneficial. Yeah. All right, here, hold up.
It's better overall. Take that snap, boy.
Yeah, I completely forgot to do that. Oh my goodness. And Jordan, are you guys still there? Josh, where you guys at? Let's hear your opinion. Let's hear you guys chime in.
They done disappeared on you,
I
Dylan.
know, dude. They're just lurking in the chat right now.
So disappointing.
Yeah. Let's see, promoting stream. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
I don't know what's happening.
I just had to send that. There we go. My bad. But yeah, lurkers make up the best of society. David, let's get your opinion, man. Let's hear what you think. Friday, we're going to be focusing on mental health. So, just trying to figure everything out. But
it'll be interesting. Is it just going to be me and you?
Well, whoever else wants to join. I mean, Matt can join, but I know he's dealing with some stuff. I'm eating dinner actually, but what's up? Oh shoot, my dude tuning in while eating dinner, catching his daily fix, I guess.
I'm semi doing the same thing.
Yeah, I have to enjoy myself and indulge myself on
Hey,
caffeine until we get done
relax.
so I can eat.
I'm not eating edibles. I'm eating bacon and eggs and pancakes.
Dude, I'm gonna need Allie. I need Allie to make me some pancakes. You got breakfast for dinner?
She just made me all this, but I ate all the bacon.
Yeah.
It's yummy.
Dang, she's spoiling you over there.
She's over there chopping up some watermelon.
Okay. Tell Allie I said hey.
Dylan says hey.
Yeah. What's her opinion?
Hi, Dylan. She doesn't care.
Doesn't care.
Honestly, she doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
Not the big politics type of person.
Oh yeah, no.
Whatsoever.
What do you want my opinion on? I guess the let's see. Gosh, what were we just talking about?
Legalization and decriminalization.
Yeah, decriminalization. What's up, everybody? How's everybody's night going? Everybody, tuning in, jumping up. There we go.
Poppin', boys.
Yeah, we popular. Holy crap. But yeah, so the topic is, since everybody's tuning in now, topic is legalization of any sort of recreational drug. We've been down the avenue of jewel pods for one, and flavor cigs or flavor jewel pods. And should the government have stepped in and said, hey, you guys can't have jewel pods because the kids are smoking it?
I think they should have just said you can't have 7% nicotine in a pod because that's insane.
Is it actually regulated now? Is it something that they've cut back
They don't
on?
have them anymore.
Joe pods or flavored Joe pods?
Um, flavored jewel pods.
Oh really? Oh
It's
shoot.
fine.
Oh, I got you. What do you want my opinion on? Oh yeah. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Yeah, so the legalization of things. I'm a libertarian, so I think drugs should be legalized. Government shouldn't tell people what they can and can't do with their personal lives. Fair and argument.
Yeah, but also it gives the ability for people to be extra, just something else
Hmm.
entirely, as in mentally, physically, just the way people go about themselves can
So
also change.
So should the government step in at all? Because as what are Tide Pods? Oh my gosh, people are idiots. Um, but there's the argument that the government is solely there to protect us, right?
Yeah, and like
So what is the argument behind the government stepping in to protect us from illegal substance? And
if you
again,
have
I'm
a bunch of
just
high people driving around and start wrecking their cars, then that's protecting yourself. We have a alcohol tolerance before you can, or so you can drive or not. Why would it not be the same thing?
yeah,
Like I don't know how you would be able to tell the level
the good old
because
sniffer, smell that
yeah, but like
marijuana.
if you can smell it, I mean you can smell it regardless. It's
Yeah.
it's it's a very noticeable smell.
Oh, for sure. Once you've done it, you know what it is. The government still enforces DUIs, DWIs. Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So again, I guess that argument would come back to what's going on right now, the pandemic. So is the government at liberty to force us indefinitely into our own homes to mitigate the effects of a pandemic or
No,
no? So what's the
no,
difference between that and uh like legalization of marijuana or DUIs, for example?
it's not preventing us from something. It's not like preventing us from a natural right. You can't tell us not to go somewhere unless it's like, I don't know. I feel like that's it's a big difference.
Okay. Georgia has a weed detector for drivers now. They enforce it differently in various neighborhoods. What's up, Big Bwomp? How you doing, Chandler? Welcome to
What's
the
up,
chat.
Chandler?
Oh, what's up, big boy? But so all right, that's a fair point. So elaborate what the difference is though.
And
In the
like
case of I can't go out and drink, or I can't drink past a certain amount, or I can't smoke, let's just say that.
that's the problem. I don't know how you would tell the difference. Like I don't know what the scale would be out of, because you can drink up to a .08 and drive legally, but
Right.
I don't know how you would accurately tell how high someone is.
Well, I'm saying that in reference to the quarantine. Like you're like stuck in a pandemic. God has created things to be used responsibly, including marijuana. He created natural herbs and plants to be used for healing. Right. Okay. But all right. So I'll return to that in just a second.
That's a fair assessment.
But the I guess my question is, if the government is at liberty to prevent you from doing harm to your body with illicit drugs such as overdosing on marijuana or not marijuana, I'm sorry. About to sound
Yeah,
real stupid there for a
yeah.
second. But if the government is at liberty to prevent you from overdosing on other drugs or alcohol itself, one of the common ones that people get poisoning from, then
Yeah.
what's to say that they're not at liberty to prevent you from going outside during a pandemic?
I think the prevention of location is the big problem. Like, how are you going to enforce people to not leave their house? How many you'd have to you need access to far too many people to keep all of us at home.
That's
I
fair.
just think that's super unrealistic.
Becomes more authoritarian at that point. The
Yeah.
only reason why I asked that is because the government's sole purpose is to instill safety over the people. So I just question, why something like a pandemic is deemed acceptable, but I can't smoke marijuana. It doesn't make any sense. Um, let's see. I agree. I don't think they can legally tell us to stay home. Is it the best thing to do? Probably. Should it be enforced by the government? No. Let's see. The government shouldn't. Big suck. The government shouldn't prevent you from overdosing on drugs. They don't prevent me from eating McDonald's 12 times a day and dying from a heart attack at age 26.
But they can advise it. I'd be
Yeah.
cool with that. Just advise everything. Don't do anything. Just tell us what we should do, and then we decide whether it's a good idea.
Yeah. Kind of like the pandemic. All right, guys, stay locked inside your house. By the way, there's a virus
Yeah,
going around.
all the people that listen will do it. All the people that don't listen won't. It's cool.
Opioid addiction is treated very differently than crack. What do you mean by that? Because I don't know a lot about the opioid crisis, but I know opioids are being prescribed like candy in doctors' offices.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, Mom,
People
don't
get
you
hooked on
have
it.
several? Like my mom doesn't take them because she never felt the need to. She's like, why do you give me these? But why do doctors' office see the need to prescribe opiums when marijuana is just naturally as good of a painkiller as those substances? As far as alcohol, be responsible, not getting drunk. Random at Strickland, what you eating?
Some watermelon.
Crack
And then I got
brings more
some
jail
pancakes
than
and eggs over
cocaine.
here.
What? I'm confused as to your relationship between the comments, Dale.
I thought crack and cocaine were the same thing.
I thought they
I
were
thought
too.
crack was just the
The slang,
crystal version, and then cocaine was like the powder. I don't really know.
I struggle with opioid addiction after one of my leg surgeries. That stuff's no joke. Yeah, but see, again, so the alternative could have been marijuana, like giving you medical use to reduce the pain.
My mom stole my thingies and kept them from me, so I wouldn't have them after my surgery.
That's
So
smart.
I
I mean,
wouldn't
imagine
get
being addicted to
hooked.
opioids at such a young age. And your mom did the smart thing there, I guess.
Yeah, I took them later though. They're nice after lacrosse games.
Oh my gosh, man.
I didn't take them all at once. I wasn't crazy. I just
Oh, of
took them like
course, man.
I didn't. I just took them after lacrosse games when I needed to sleep and I was dying on the inside.
What David, David, I don't get the last comment.
Am I missing something?
Yeah, I think I'm missing something because I legit thought crack and cocaine were the same thing. I don't know if that's a correct assessment, but anyways, going back to my mom's comment about being natural and medicinal. Oh, what's up, Rex? What's up? Oh, hold on, actually.
Hello.
Let's see. Dell says they are the same, but poor people use crack and rich people use cocaine. The laws are very subjective and seem to be discriminating.
Yeah,
Oh, so I guess that's
that.
where okay. Poor people use crack and rich people use cocaine. So so cocaine's the pure form? Is
I feel
it?
like
Are we talking Breaking Bad here?
that's meth.
Facts.
I can't say I can get any far in depth with the meth because I am zero. I literally can't get very far in depth with any drugs. I
Okay.
don't take
All right.
anything.
So let's talk about legal meth real quick, which for a fact is Adderall or
Oh,
oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Wow, what a narc doesn't even know what crack is. Come on, Alex.
Wait, did
Go
Alex
ahead. Tell
just
me the difference between crack and cocaine.
exactly? Wow, what a narc doesn't even know what crack is. I legit thought they were the same thing. Like, so I guess they technically are.
I thought they were in different forms.
Yeah, I didn't know that crack and cocaine were different levels that you could have or purities. I legit just
And
thought they were like the street name. Hey, you
I
got
could believe
crack, you
that
got
they are.
cocaine. Yeah, but um, I got prescribed Adderall back in college. I went to see a psychiatrist, and she was like, literally, it was the easiest process in the world. I was like, she just asked me a simple like questionnaire. She was like, "Hey, how you doing in school?" I said, "Yeah, I'm doing all right." She says, "Well, are you focusing?" I'm like, I get distracted every occasionally. She's like, "Take this survey." It's like a 5-question survey. Like, how are you doing in this area, this area, this area? I circled them, gave it to her. She's like, "Well, it looks like you have ADHD, so here you go. Here's a prescription for Adderall."
Does Adderall make you sleep better?
No,
It
absolutely
doesn't.
not.
Like if you
Not. That is
okay.
that is completely false. No, Adderall will keep you up for days.
I've never taken it.
It's the thing. Hey, Allie. I just
You
see her
said hey.
peeking in. Um, but I would take Adderall, to stay focused, but it would not make me social at all. I would become a legit zombie, but I would be zooted.
Really?
Yeah, like I would want
I
to
always
get.
wanted
I
to
would,
kind of try it just because it's not like that bad, but I
oh
don't really care
man,
to.
the after effects of it though. When you would come off of it, you would just be so ADD. Like everything would catch your eye. You could not stay focused, and that's what I hated. I hated the during and I hated the after. I was like, you know what? I'm coming right off this. This ain't happening.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fair.
I think I took it for a solid like month before I was like, you know what? I don't need this stuff. I can't do this.
Yeah, that gives me more reason not to take it. Because I
Yeah,
always thought like maybe it'd be a good idea just to see what it's like.
no, I don't recommend it, and I don't
Okay.
recommend people giving it to their kids either, man.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no.
there's like an epidemic, or, wrong word, but there's
Yeah. No. Right, caught right attention. You got it right. Okay.
but there's like a plethora of people right now that are just overdiagnosing their kids with ADD. It's like, dude, your kid just has high energy, man. Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah. It's like a dog. Go let him run.
Yeah, dude, Stark's wild. Alex Mack, you
Exactly.
guys know Stark's wild, and if he was in human form, you would think he's ADD. But literally, you just let that dog run, get his exercise out. He comes right back. He's fine. Same with kids. You let
Yeah.
those kids run. You let
Put
them
him,
play.
give him a collar and let him run in the backyard.
Oh yeah, yeah. When they act up, you just shock them real quick.
Yeah. Boom, baby.
All
Then
right,
they come back in and fall asleep.
all right. Let me go to some of these comments real quick. Crack is cut with soap, toenail shavings. Ew, that sounds disgusting. Anything white powdered, like to make it way more and be sold for more. Ew, that sounds disgusting. Almost other differences, I believe, among other differences. You can smoke crack. I don't think you can smoke coke. Adderall is literally meth, mild meth. Okay. I totally agree with Dell regarding crack and opioid. The laws are not balanced. Unfortunately, people that use crack went to jail with no rehabilitation, and people that use opioids were. And
Really?
there's definitely a stigma
What's
on
the
what type
do
of drugs.
they actually do that? I thought they take most people to rehab or take a good amount of people to rehab. I
What?
didn't realize there was like
I don't
specific
think that's how it
things.
works. I mean, think of marijuana for example. You get caught with that, like you're going to jail. You're not going to rehab.
Oh, not for that, but like for harder things. I didn't I figured they would take most or not most, but like a good amount of people to rehab. I didn't realize it was like if you took this drug, then you go to rehab. If you take another drug, then you don't.
Yeah, it does seem unbalanced with that.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, where you could just basically drink a whole bunch of alcohol, go to jail, and then go to rehab. And then versus like you smoke weed, you just go straight to jail. There's no in between. You can go to Alcoholics Anonymous with that, but you can't. Yeah, it's just it doesn't seem balanced. Crack was typically used by somebody who was poor and of color, and opioid is the opposite. I like I said, I don't know much about the differences. Exactly, Mama Callie.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
I don't know the
Uh,
differences between crack and cocaine. I just know that Adderall is basically legal meth. Dylan, listen to your mom. Oh my gosh, guys, you guys are killing me.
Yeah, you got to, Dylan.
Mama Callie in
Play
the chat.
nice.
Yeah, I guess I'll play nice. But yeah, Jordan, Josh, are you still here?
I think they dipped out on us.
I think they did. Ooh.
Who are you talking to? Doing my own research? Yeah, I need to do some research about a lot of things.
You can Google this info, like you said, do your own research. Yeah, I did need to do some research in the field of crack versus cocaine.
Yeah, because I love that daily necessity.
I think you would see my search history and be like,
what are you getting into, Dylan?
yeah, you okay? You need to tell me something? Like I went on this whole Terrence McKenna, like Terrence McKenna is a guy that like took a bunch of psychedelics back in
That
the
name
early
sounds familiar, but I can't picture his face.
Highly recommend listening to this guy. Not following his path, but listening to how he talks. The dude is so illusionary with his verbiage and his language. It's just he creates so many pictures just using his words. It's just so interesting to hear this guy talk. And
does he do it on like? Does he do it? Is he always been like that, or is he?
you know, I don't know. Like, I mean, he started making like a huge. I mean, he's dead now, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, great opener, right? He started doing videos in conferences, you know, when YouTube and everything was starting to get big, and then oh, please don't. I don't condone crack for the podcast. I gotta put that out there. We're about to have Dan Thurman on, so I gotta.
We don't support that. Joseph.
What's up, Joseph? My drug education comes from Live PD. That show was good though.
Live PD. You need to just do what half the YouTubers do, and then just watch Live PD and talk over it, and just be like, "Oh yeah, all these people are wild."
Honestly, we might do that one day for a podcast. We might have to do a Live PD episode where we just watch it. Yeah. But highly recommend checking out Terrence McKenna. He gets into like the use of psychedelics, and I don't condone anybody using psychedelics or anything like that. But with that being said, listening to someone that has done them and that has had the experience, he seems very. It's so weird because he seems so out there, but he makes so much sense, and you're like,
he's an intellectual.
Yeah, but he uses logic and then backs it up with like illustrations. So
he should write a book. Has he written a book?
Yeah, I think he did.
That'd be a good read.
I think he did write a book. I gotta remember what it was called. Fortunately,
DMT. Ooh, that's something that's interesting.
Fortunately, you guys live in a world that you don't see some of those kind of things. You're right. I mean, fair. I watched a YouTube video of two dudes trying DMT for the first time. Pretty interesting.
That is interesting. That's something that's like, we talked about this before. That's something else. That's just completely unlocking your brain in a different level.
You know, I'm scared. Like I
Oh yeah.
From this horror stories that I've heard people going to, I heard one guy told me that when he tried it, he saw like a demon jumping around. He saw like it was a black abyss, and it was just like this staircase. And it was like this demon that was hopping from staircase to staircase for at least 2 hours, and it only lasts 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're like,
I think it's just
shit, bro.
The
that does not sound like something I want.
Yeah, no. It doesn't sound that fun if you think about it negatively. But if you were able to access the good side of it, I think it could be something else.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't condone anybody trying any illegal drugs here. Just all hypothetical stories that people or not
Yes.
hypothetical stories, but
This is all from
hypothetical.
listening.
Yeah. My brain needs to stay locked. I don't think I would try it. Yeah, David.
Nah.
I think the only way that I would try it would be to go to the Amazon rainforest and try it like in ayahuasca form. Like you can pay for resorts to go down there and they'll like fly you out. You'll stay at this resort and it's completely legal there.
And they're
So
trained and they have doctors and people and stuff.
yeah, they're trained. So that's the only way I would try like DMT in that form. I know my mom probably doesn't want to hear that, but sorry, mommy. Um, if you're
Sounds
if
like
you
a lot you got to go through before that
yeah,
happens anyway. So you got some time.
I think it's like other drugs. You can have a good or a bad trip, right? It's definitely a mental state of mind. And that's what they talk about. Especially Terrence McKenna. Highly recommend reading and not reading, but listening to that dude.
Yeah, I probably will.
He
I
is.
like I
That's
like
actually how I found Joe Rogan. Is because I was listening to him.
I like hearing other people's stories because it's all stuff that I don't really care to do or try. So it's like, ooh, what would it be like? And then they tell me.
Like Flocka.
Flocka? That's wild to watch, but never would I
I
ever,
would
I don't even,
never in a million
I would
years.
never even think to
Sorry, I have
ask
get
for
rid of
it.
this. I would never in a million years try Flocka.
You'll turn into a World War Z zombie.
Like
It's great.
I'm surprised people actually do that for the fun of it. Like you literally turn into a zombie. If you have not seen videos of people trying Flocka, oh my gosh, these people need milk. These people need some milk.
I've seen people jump through car windows. That's the best part.
They're unstoppable.
I know. It's like a tiny Hulk. It's wild.
I was watching a video and they were talking about how they felt like literally they were in hell. Like when they tried it. They're like, I would never want to do that again. Like it like literally felt like I was being possessed and taken
I wonder
over.
if it's like just a cheap knockoff version. Like what is it meant to be? That would be a good question.
It's
What is it meant
bath
to be?
salts, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Bath salts, like, but still, I mean, like, if I heard someone bit someone's arm off and they were trying to like cannibalize another human being on a drug, I'd be like, you know what, probably not the best idea for me to try that.
Well, maybe that's just the bad form of that drug.
Could be.
I don't. Maybe like because you know how like spice is with weed. Yeah, like not speed, spice. It's the same. It's
Yeah, I
just
got you.
something.
Yeah, I got you. Let's see. My brain needs to stay locked. I don't think I would try it. I think it's like other drugs. You can have a good trip or bad trip. I've read those. Legal is not always the best measure of whether something is good. Y'all hit that like button. Yeah, hell nah for me. I'm basically a zombie. Yeah, I guess it's a good point because again, you go back to the alcohol argument. It's not like alcohol or cigarettes, for that matter.
No, they're terrible for you.
Yeah,
and they've been legal for so long that people have tested it and figured out what's good and bad.
Well, and I think
but why can't we have everything legal to test what's good and bad and then go from there?
I think that's where we need. That's the next step. It's just
it can be
at least if it's
criminalized and then be legal at a national level to where people can do like on a research level.
Yeah, I think that there needs to be another area of, maybe not law, but another area where it's like, you know what, if you want to research this stuff for research purposes where you can get participants involved, fine. You know, it's not illegal.
You want to get participants in it? You're gonna get
well,
some
I
people
do
to sign
know.
up
I think it was John Hopkins that did a study about psychedelics, and they did a study, particularly through the involvement of psilocybin, the main chemical in mushrooms, and they tested whether or not that had an effect on PTSD in some individuals, and they found overwhelming support that it helps to cure it. It helps to cure PTSD, and it helps to cure depression as well. Like the only substance that we know on Mother Earth that is working in some way in your brain to help cure depression. And yet we have antidepressants.
Chemicals.
Yeah, it's supposed to create and link different pathways. I don't know the specifics behind it. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a neuroscientist, but the study came out and they found findings that it worked like 90% of the time, whereas antidepressants don't. Antidepressants could actually have the opposite effect, to where it
enhances that
right
terrible experience.
Like my dad, for example. So my dad was prescribed antidepressants and he took them, and he I guess he took too much of them. He became addicted to them, and that's where it just kind of was the tipping point for him. So he ended up one day taking his own life. He couldn't handle it anymore. But had psilocybin been in the picture, maybe things would have turned out differently.
Yeah, but it's a whole situational thing. I don't think it would work the same for everybody.
Right. I agree.
So it's more like some pills, drugs work differently for everyone else. Like there's not a 100% chance that it's gonna cure it. So like,
well, what's strange about psilocybin is everybody seems to experience relatively the same thing, like in the same realm.
You can still have bad trips though.
Right. But everybody sort of experiences, like if you've heard of the bad trip, like if you've watched videos on the bad trip, people will talk about seeing the gesture. Like it's like a gesture figure, and like that guy comes and he torments you in the bad trip. So it's like, well,
that sounds weird.
That's kind of scary, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay away from that guy. But it's strange how people have relatively the same kind of trips. So, all right, let's go back to some of these comments. There are some things that completely alter your brain. Yeah, that would be like alcohol, psilocybin. I think these drugs have more effects on our brains than we actually know. That's why I think legalization would be good, so that way we can research. Hello. I was watching a PD video on YouTube of people doing drugs, literally trying to eat a person's face off, stabbing a person, just crazy stuff. Really? What drug did it say they were?
That's why you gotta watch some live PD, Dylan.
Oh, I do watch live PD, man. That shit's good.
You gotta watch
Let's see.
Always some quality content.
I think you should claim the science on it. The Dylan effect. Antidepressants help me a lot. Y'all want chips and salsa now. Damn. Gotta get the good stuff.
Salsa sounds so good.
We got nothing in our fridge right now. Ain't nothing.
I'm about to eat the rest of this pancake. And then I gotta eat some more pizza rolls at some point.
Oh, yeah? Trying to put on them pounds, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah, antidepressants help me a lot. And we'll talk about antidepressants on Friday when we talk about mental health, because I have some relatively controversial opinions about some of the stuff that people talk about with antidepressants. I don't want to get into too much of it now, but again, Friday is the mental health.
Yeah, we gotta save the good points.
Dylan, you should have dinner on the table for Nikki. Nikki's passed out, dude. She said, "Wake me up and I'll watch the podcast with you. I'll be on." And
does she work at night?
She's knocked out over there.
Poor Nikki.
No, actually, she's awake. What are you saying, babe? Oh, she's watching. Never mind.
Hey, Nikki.
Always supporting. Strickland said, "Hey, Nikki." She said, "Hey."
Hey. Yeah, I can hear the mumble.
Mm-hmm. Well, anything else anybody wants to conclude for tonight? Kind of chilling.
Yeah, let's bring it on. Any more conspiracies?
What'd you say, babe?
Drug conspiracies?
I did. That was at the beginning. Oh, conspiracy, dude.
You have a conspiracy?
No, did you hear about the
Thank you.
LSD experiments that people were doing or the government was doing for mind control? I forgot what it was
No,
called.
you didn't send me that email. I would have checked. You didn't send me that article.
It was the whole premise of Stranger Things, though.
Oh.
I forgot the name of the experiment, but
Uh,
what, MK Ultra? That's what it's called, MK Ultra.
that sounds wild.
Yeah, so basically they were doping people up with LSD to figure out
Did
whether
it
or
work?
not they can. I mean, all of it's redacted. They released some of it, so you don't know if it worked. I mean,
Were
they
those people
legalized
just
it.
constantly brain dead? That'd be kind of cool.
I don't know. I
They
don't
need to
know.
release some more stuff if they're gonna start testing people. I want to see the tests.
Right? Or it could have just enhanced people to the point to where they're like, this is dangerous. It could get out of control. Illegal. Conspiracy. The CIA introduced crack to destabilize black communities. Is there a conspiracy? I'll read up on that.
I'm pretty sure that's like what the whole was that Reagan? Whenever the whole crack cocaine spike was.
Yeah.
Isn't that like the main conspiracy about the whole thing? I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know much about it. I was kind of thinking about that before we started, but I don't have enough information on it.
Oh,
Is
y'all need a
depression?
subject.
Oh yeah, you go, Dylan.
That'll be Friday.
Yeah.
That'll be a Friday topic. Because Friday's mental health. We're talking about mental health on Friday.
Go
Today
ahead,
was just straight
copy and paste it.
legalization.
Copy and paste it into a note for next time.
Right. All right. I'll get to that. I'll copy. Copy. Paste.
Got to save some quality
it's
comments
all
for
in
next
Google.
time.
Right. But we are closing in at about an hour. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Nice.
Again, we'll be live on Friday with not Dan Thurman. Dan Thurman's Tuesday. We'll be live again on Friday with the topic being mental health, and then we'll be live with Dan Thurman. That'll be the last podcast before Dan Thurman. I'll need everybody to tune in. Everybody show up for Dan Thurman on Tuesday next week.
It'll be fun.
It'll be lit. So, yeah, it's on Google. I used the Google Box before. Use the Google Box.
What was in my watermelon? Watermelon? That was it.
Drugs.
Did we eat all the watermelon?
It's lace, Strickland.
She said she laced my watermelon.
I believe it.
I don't know what with, so we'll find out at some point.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for everybody that tuned in and chatted up with us. I appreciate it. There was some great conversation. Again, we'll be live Friday for mental health. So let me know your opinions. We'll be answering some of these questions. We'll be answering questions about antidepressants. I am a psych major, so hopefully I'll get to input a little bit of what I've learned.
4T.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you for daydreaming.
See ya.
Let me see if I can get this outro right.
Did you?
No, I have not. Comment after the podcast. Yes. That too. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, do whatever. All right, bye guys.